Hello everyone and welcome to the 50th episode of NiinaN Knitting. My name is Niina and I live in Jyväskylä in central Finland with my husband, our two kids, and a dog who's right next to me. You can find me on Ravelry as Ninima and I'm NiinaN Knitting on Instagram. We also have a Ravelry group with episode threads where I always put my show notes. And there's an Ask Me Anything thread. Nobody's been asking me anything for quite a while, but it's there. And there's an introductions thread over there as well. You can find the link to the episode thread, this episode thread, right down there in the description box here on YouTube. Today is Wednesday, the 9th of October, and I just came home from work a little early, took the dog out for a short walk, and I thought I'd start filming today, get the finished objects done, hopefully, and then take my daughter from daycare and finish this episode off a little later this week, probably on Friday. Yeah, let's get started. I have some sewing to show you. One of which is on my head. It's a beanie, and I have made a few more with the same pattern. This pattern is just trikoopipo in Finnish, so that's from a Finnish site, jujuna.fi. I can link it on the screen or put the link on the screen and in the show notes as well. The dog's getting tangled with his leash. Anyway, this is the biggest size in the pattern, and it is, well, a little too loose for me. It was the first version I made. It's totally reversible, has the same fabric in the inside, and just a very straightforward thing to sew. There are 3 sizes in the pattern, and since this was quite a bit too big for me, I decided that the smallest one would probably be good for my daughter. So I drew out the smallest version, and then I made her this. So this is what I made for my daughter, and I'm losing light. It's 3 p.m. And no, it's not getting dark yet, but since the sun is behind the clouds right this second, it's coming back though, there isn't. Okay, now you're beginning to see what it's like. So this is the same fabric that I used for a t-shirt for my daughter just this summer, and I had just a tiny bit left. Not enough to make another t-shirt, but just enough to make one side of this beanie. And then of course I did make her another t-shirt, and it was enough to make the other side of the beanie. So this is from her Sky Paw Patrol t-shirt leftovers. Wow, that was a mouthful, whatever. Yeah, and actually this is a very good size for her, and this is the size that fits my head too when I want a beanie that's just small enough to fit under my bike helmet. And that's why I made myself actually 2, not just 1 but 2. So this beanie is, as you can see, the same fabric as the bigger one, but this is as much as I had, and the other side is just black. This is just, your basic t-shirt fabric. And I made another beanie because, every once in a while you have to wash your beanies. So I found some really nice fabric from Jyväskylän Kangaskauppa. I'll put the link on the screen, and this is what I found. It is amazing. I made one for myself and one for a colleague who also knit. So this is reversible. This is the same fabric and there is no seam here, whereas I did put a seam on in the other beanies. So this is just snug enough to fit my head, and still I can put the bike helmet on it. So that's nice. And it covers my ears really well, and it keeps the wind out when because I ride my bike really, really fast. Maybe not, but yeah, it gets cold, so it's good. But I prefer the bigger one, even though it is quite a loose uh, beanie, but I do prefer it. And I'm just walking the dog when I don't have to wear my helmet. So this is my first, or these are my first sewing finished objects. I'm not sure if I finished them first, but you know. And there's another project that I had actually started 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago. It was a shirt, something that the French podcasters had all been sewing. They'd all done this pattern. It's called l'impatiente or impatiente, impatient, and a very, very basic and really, really pretty t-shirt. And so I bought the pattern. It wasn't even expensive. I think it was like 5 years or something. And then I started sewing it. And I'd almost finished it. I had done the shoulder seams. I'd attached um, the sleeves, and the front part was in two parts. So I had sewn the seam in there, and then I tried it on, and I realized that there wasn't enough room in the sleeves. I couldn't move. If I had done the side seam, I couldn't have moved my arms, or well, I couldn't have fit the shirt on. So I kind of was bummed out, and I just threw the unfinished T-shirt in a closet somewhere, and just out of my sight. So uh, I just remembered it because I was going through my closet. So, oh yeah, I have this project in here. Maybe I could something about it. And so I did. I just cut off the sleeves, and here it is. As you can see, it's not the same sort of fabric. It doesn't stretch at all. I don't know what this fabric is. Viscose or something, I think. Anyway, it's not. It looks nice. It has some nice pictures in it. And well, oh, it's so dark. Oh yeah, now you can see the ribbing in the front. And there's supposed to be t-shirt sleeves in here, but I just had to cut them off. Didn't really. Oh, I was thinking about undoing the seam, but this fabric is not very easy to undo. So I just cut it off and then fudged it. And as you can see, it's not that, oh, you can't see because it's so freaking dark. Well, it's not very neat, but it'll do. And I can insert a picture because I do have a picture here. I do have a picture of it, of me wearing this. If I do, I'll attach it here. But yeah, uh, the pattern has been used, I think, hundreds of times. So it mustn't, it can't be the pattern's fault. It's something that I did. I just don't know what it is. Either, well, because I did pick the right size for my bust. and I don't think I have very broad shoulders. So either the French are very different, have very different shoulders compared to their bust, or I don't know what happened, but it was just not a success with the sleeves. And of course, as I said, the the fabric doesn't give at all, so you can't stretch it at all. Okay, so that's the sewing, and I have two finished knit projects, one of which I'm just going to have to get prepared to show you just a second. Ta-da! Yes, it's dark and you can't see it. I'm gonna have to insert some photos because the sun is behind the clouds again and there's nothing I can do about it. But you can sort of see that I have finally finished my Chlorissimo, which is a pattern by Cordeliavor, Tricot on Instagram, I think. Yeah, last time I showed it to you, I had already almost done the sleeves. I said that I would have to knit the ribbing in the sleeves or in the sleeves. It's a top-down shirt, and I had started, of course, from the neckline, separated for the sleeves, and then knit a little bit of the body, and then done the short sleeves, and then I was knitting down. I was in here. I have a progress keeper in here. Last time I showed it to you. After I had finished the body, I did put as long a rib as the pattern called for. I was thinking that I will want to add another repeat of the lace in the sleeves. So really difficult to show you now. Come on, son, work with me. No, well, there were one, two, three, I think 3 repeats of the lace back then, but I added one more repeat of the lace and then the ribbing, because I don't like 3/4 sleeves. It's not my thing. I do get cold, and now I am getting cold in the neckline. I'm going to talk about that in just a sec. But yeah, that's why I wanted to make sure that the sleeves are long enough to reach my wrists, because I wouldn't want to be pulling them down, because if I pull them down, they'll pull the neckline down, and as you can see, it is big enough as it is. I know many of the French don't like their sweaters too close to their throat or to the neck. Um, like this, yeah, it's more of a cool summer day kind of shirt. Of course, with the lace too, but especially with this sort of neckline. And my yarn choice, because this is Malabrigo Mechita in the colorway burnt orange, which you can't see because it's so dark. Uh, but yeah, it's a superwash, 100% superwash merino yarn, and it'll probably stretch while I use this shirt. So I may end up with even bigger neckline than this is, and I'll have to decide what to do with it then. But for the moment, I'm going to leave it like this. Going to try not to pull it down at all. Be happy with the sleeves. They are exquisite. They're so pretty. There's the same kind of lace going down the side, but you can't see it because it's so dark. I have pictures to show you. I'm so sorry with this light. Um, yeah, what else? Oh, I did change the ribbing because it starts with a 2x2 knit through the back loop 2x2 rib. And since this ribbing starts after the lace, and there are pearls in the lace too, I wanted those pearl columns to continue in the ribbing. So it's not 2x2, it's not 1x1, it's 2x1x2x1x1 all all and everything. So it's different from the pattern, and I did the same in the side seam. I do have a 2x2 ribbing here in the hem, but where I had the lace, it's different. Pretty sure you can't see it. To me, the screen looks really, really black. I may have to film this again. Hope not. Okay, one more finished object, and then I'll have to go. I'm just going to have to try and bear with just this shirt. You can see a foot. There's no sock on it, but I do have a pair of socks that I finished. I talked to you about these last time. I was knitting a Sock Knitters Anonymous Ravelry group challenge, September-October challenge, which was a pattern by Heidi. It's called Pachysandra, and I was doing them 2 at a time on magic loop, and it was a cuff down. It's a cuff down pattern. I was here last time I showed it to you. I have 2, and yeah, here's where I was then, and then I finished them. And yeah, Heidi is a wonderful sock designer. I think more or less all her patterns are socks. I love them. I've knit a few pairs, and this one is, your Heidi quality. Just very, very nice. The yarn I used here is Lanidium Ex Machina bamboo sock. Bamboo merino sock, I think. Let's see. Yeah, merino bamboo sock, and the colorway is called Thunderbird. I used 3.0 millimeter US size, 2.5 needles when I knit these. I knit Pro Symphony needles, and these socks are really nice. I'm pretty sure I'm going to give them to my niece when she has her birthday this month, so she'll be getting this pair of socks. And so it's not blue and it's not gray either. It's sort of semi-solid. I do have some pretty nice pictures of it. Hi, I'm back. It's not Friday, it's Sunday, the 13th of October. But now I have time to do the rest of the recording. My kids have gone to the countryside with my husband, so I'm home alone, and home alone for me means home alone with the dog. But yeah, I have one more finished object. I didn't have this last time I was talking to you, but it's a pair of socks. It's something that a friend of mine asked me to knit. This is an old classmate of mine who every now and then sends me a message asking me if I could knit her or knit something for her to give somebody else. And this time she was asking me if I could knit a pair of rainbow socks. And since the biggest yarn company here in Finland, Ohi'a, has a rainbow color for their Seitsemän veljestä yarn. Sorry, this is a little untidy. But yeah, they have this self-striping rainbow colored yarn for Seitsemän veljestä, which is 200 meters in 100 grams and 75% wool, 25% polyamide. It's a very basic yarn that people up here in the northern part of Finland, or in not northern part of Finland, but northern part of Europe use to knit socks, because it's mighty cold in here, so we need heavyweight socks. And so that's what I used in here, and the other one, of course, is also the same yarn, Noita Seitsemän veljestä, just a black yarn that I started doing the ribbing, 2x2 ribs for 6 rows, and then I started alternating the rainbow color and the black, and then of course I did the hearts by slipping a stitch, and then I did a regular heel flap and gusset, heel flap and the heel turn in black, and then continued with the rainbow color, doing the gusset decreases, and of course the rest of the sock before this toe part, which I did in black, as you can see. I didn't have a pattern for this. I think I did look up from Novita's charts, size charts, how many stitches you need for. This is supposed to be about a 43-44 European sock size. I don't know if it's even bigger. Well, if it is, then they'll be a little big. But yeah. So I looked it up, how many stitches they recommend for the size. I think there was size 45, maybe. Anyway, I think I have 52 stitches here in the ribbing, and then I just, decided where I wanted to stop the ribbing. As you can see, it's not very long, because knitting black yarn this time of the year is just not very nice. So I stopped doing the ribbing after 6 rounds, and then started to do the alternating heel knitting, like I've explained before, and a lot of podcasters have been talking about heel knitting. And then when I started doing the heel flap, I just left the rainbow colored yarn waiting and did the heel, and then picked up the rainbow color on the first round of gusset. So my friend asked me if I could knit her 2 pairs. She just wanted them to be rainbow colored. So this is pair number 1, and I have already started pair number 2. Not very far, but I have started it. And these are the DPNs that I was using when I was knitting the other pair too. So these are Knit Pro Zings for 4mm needles, so that's US size 6, I think. But yeah, as you can see, I've just started doing the heart, and I do think that I will do some duplicate stitches here to reinforce the sort of top part of the heart, because since there are no slip stitches there, it's just your regular row. These parts, I'm not that happy about them, so that's why I'm pretty sure I'll just pick a piece of this yarn in the sort of light blue color and do some duplicate double stitching or whatever it is, duplicate stitches, something, to reinforce the blue in here. But yeah, I haven't blocked these. I don't know if I even will, because you can't even tell that I've used DPNs, because there are no, I don't think there are lines. On camera you might even see something, but really not in not like this. But I might give them a bath just to ensure that there aren't any, I don't know, greases or impurities in the socks, and maybe they'll, to give them a little bit of nicer smell, because this is just just your regular, very like factory color or something. Very synthetic. So that's what I might do. I don't think my bigger blockers are the right size for these, but it doesn't matter. I'll just lay them flat to dry and it'll be fine. And I'll try to knit the second pair as soon as possible, so that I can get them sent out and have that one out of the way, because I hadn't planned to knit stuff in here. I had the next project sort of on the list, but this just sort of came up, and that's why I just started doing it, even though this friend of mine, she did tell me that no, there's no rush, and yeah, you can take your time. And I was even saying that I'm not sure if I'll be able to do it before Christmas, because do have to make the Christmas gifts, and I still have not started. But oops, stuff happens every now and then. Okay, so that was sort of my first work in progress, and here's my second one. It's in this beautiful Nostalgia Knits project bag, and I don't think the lighting is the best possible in here. To me, it looks kind of blue, but after looking at the videos that I did take earlier in, outside, where I was just going on and on about the lighting, which looked horrible to me. And when I looked at the video clips that I took afterwards from my tablet, it was kind of nice. It was pretty okay. So the camera fixes lighting better than I gave it credit to. So yeah. So maybe it looks okay, but this is like purple and not blue. Anyway, I've shown it to you before when I was when I had purchased it, at least, maybe even after that. Okay, so I'm using yarn from Wool Me Once Fibers. This is gold glitter sock base, and the colorway is called Rose Gold. So glitter means that it has 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and 5% gold stellina, 400 meters, 900 grams. And let's see how this looks in this lighting. To me it looks kind of pale on the screen, but it is rose, like, very light, light pink. I like it. I like it a lot. And of course, as always, the glitter is more or less impossible to see on the screen. I've tried taking photos in very good sunlight and everything. I just can't seem uh, to get it to show on camera. And for this particular stellina, or this glitter yarn, um, the glitter is very, very subtle. Some of the other yarns, they have a lot. I'd say that the thread or whatever of the stellina is wider. And for this one, it is really like very, very thin. This is something that I bought last time I showed you the prize drawing for my sock-free summer cow. And I had bought 2 skeins of yarn from Wool Me Ones, and this was the second one. And I totally forgot to tell you last time, but it doesn't matter. You're seeing it now. I really like the brand name or the yarn name, Wool Me Ones. Um, it doesn't work as well in speech as it does on paper, because fool me once and wool me once, I I really think it's a play on word, but of course wool and fool don't have the same vowel sound in the beginning or in the center, but it doesn't matter, it's close enough. That was a side note from a linguist. But what I am knitting is a pair of socks, 2 at a time on magic loop, and I even bought a new set of needles. These are once again Knit Pro Zings circulars, 100 centimeters, and this is 2.5 millimeters, so that's 1.5 US, I think. I think I put it down there. Yes, 1.5. And this pair is for the, again, Sock Knitters Anonymous Ravelry Group challenge. Their October challenge is, well, one of the challenges here is a pattern by Adrienne Fong, who recently passed away, and they wanted to pay a tribute to her. So this is the let's see, it's in Hawaiian, I think, Ohi'a Lehua, sock pattern by Adrienne Fong. So she has very, very nice lace patterns, a lot of them, and all of them are free of charge now on Ravelry. And she often has, or had, whatever, beads in her patterns. Well, the beads are still there if you want to put them there. And I just, I really enjoy beads. I think they look really, really pretty. So I have just started with the beads. This is a pattern that used to be a mystery sock at one point. I've forgotten when, but this is clue number 1 from that. But all of the pattern has been released. I have it here. Let's see if it says. Well, it says 2019, but maybe it was earlier this year, because because it's not a mystery sock anymore. All of the clues have been released. But I really like how it's knitting up. It looks really pretty. That's why I chose this pattern, of course. And I'm doing it as Sock Knitters Anonymous October challenge. And I really like it. It's very, very nice. And I adore this color. I did, when I bought it, when I ordered it, I thought it would look really nice in a shawl of some sort, and I still do. But well, it just seemed to be so good for this particular project, so I'm using it for this, and maybe I'll get a new skein of rose gold from Only Once for another project at another time. But that's my second work in progress. And this one is a little bit on hold because there are things that are I'm more I want to get finished before that. And my third one, I think I only have three. Yes, a third one is a sweater, a kid's sweater. My nephew or my sister-in-law's son has his birthday this month, and he's turning 3, and I wanted to make him a shirt, a sweater, and I've started it. This is a pattern called Leif's Twisted Tree Pullover, and it's by, oh, I forgot to write down the designer, Sarah Pope. Yeah. And this is how far I've gone now. The yarn I'm using is Nordic wool, Novita. Again, Novita. Yeah, there you have Novita, Nordic wool. It's 100% wool. And there are 115 meters in 50 grams. These are 50-gram balls. And wow, this colorway. You want to know the color number of the colorway? 629. So I had been thinking about knitting him a sweater for his birthday. Looks pretty big, and it probably will be because he's a really skinny boy. But yeah, so I had been thinking about making him a sweater, and I had actually already picked up that pattern, if only I would happen to stumble upon a nice yarn for that one. And then I went to a store. I was actually getting a birthday present for my daughter's friend. She was going to a birthday party, and I was at the store picking up a present, and well, I just happened to go by the yarn section of that particular store, and they had this color, only this color, these skeins of Novita Nordic wool on sale, €1 a ball or skein, whatever this is called. So I bought 5 skeins of this, so I have 250 grams of this yarn, and I paid €5 for it. €5 is very little for a sweater, even for a kid. Let's just say that. So I'm really happy with it, and I like the color, and like I said, it's probably wide, so I've knit 2 skeins now, and I think the pattern said in the size that I'm doing to make 9 repeats of this cable twist before the sleeves. And I think I have done 8, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, and I have started the 9th, or at least, well, I've done 8. So in the pattern, I'll just have one more, and I guess that'll be okay for the length, because it is. I did do a gauge wash, if you're asking. I tried 2 different needle sizes. This is size 4mm, and this is 4.5. So a US size 6 and US size 7. And the gauge was pretty much the same on both of these. I washed it and everything. Washed it and laid it flat to dry. The gauge is pretty much the same, but I do think that this fabric was nicer. This is a little too dense, and I like the drapiness of the upper part, so that's why I chose to use 4.5mm Knit Pro interchangeables. I'm using my interchangeable set. So these are 4.5mm, US size 7, and I used size 4mm or US size 6 for the hem, this rolled hem. Okay, I'll tell you what stupid stuff I did with this when I started knitting it. I had just finished knitting this Chlorissimo, and this one is a top-down shirt, and it just didn't occur to me, and it didn't say on the description of the pattern if it's a top-down or a bottom-up for this shirt. So for some weird reason, I just assumed that this one also was a top-down. And well, the picture in here is not very good. This is a free pattern on Ravelry, so it's fine if I talk about it, but you can't really see, but it does have a rolled color or whatever too, so you really can't see that it wasn't started from up, that you started from the hem. And of course, I did not read all of the pattern before I started. Why would you do that? So I just cast on the size 4/5-year-old, I think, yes. And I started knitting this rolled part. And after I knitted a few rounds, I was thinking, oh my goodness, it's a pretty big collar for a kid. And then I said, oh, come on, this is just way too big. And I ripped it out. And I did the smaller 3/4-year-old. No, 2/3-year-old. And then I knit that one. I knit all this rolled part. And I had even started a little bit of this cable motif. And then it hit me. Oh no! This is the hem and not not the neckline. So I ripped it back and started it again. Third time is the charm. Now I knew it was the hem, and yes, I'll just make it this wide, even though I know the boy is really, really skinny. It'll fit him next year too. I'm pretty sure it will. Besides, he has a kid brother, so whenever if he happens to grow out of it during summer, then you'll have a kid brother to give it to. I felt so stupid when I realized, no, this is the hem. It's bottom up. So, whenever people say that you should always read the whole pattern through before you start it, they actually do have a point. Anyway, but it's gonna be nice. I'm hoping to finish it this week. The birthday is next weekend, I think. Um, I'm not sure if we're gonna go over because they are away. There is some distance between us, and my husband has to work towards the end of next week, so I'm not sure if we will be able to go, but we're still at the finished post. So I'll just send it to them and it'll be fine. But yeah, that's the story of the sweater. Those were my whips. I'll just check. Yes, all of them. And no, I didn't write anything other down. Yeah. Onto the chatter, and I dropped my cheat sheet. I'm in my son's room. That's why the walls are just white. He doesn't have anything on the walls. He doesn't want to have any posters or anything. Yes, but so almost there. I have some video footage for you. I probably will start putting some of it on top of my talking. But a few weeks ago, it's the last week of September, there was this, or not the whole week, but there was this event called Jyväskylä City of Light. It went from Thursday to Saturday, and it's something that's been going on for several years. I'm not sure how many, but anyway, we've been to see that before on previous years, and this year I went with my daughter. My son was with his friends, and they were, I guess they saw some of them, but they had better things to do, skateboarding. Um, anyway, we took the bus to the center, or actually a little past the city center, where we hopped off the bus to see or to go and walk along the Tourulajoki River, which is they put up some really nice lights installments, whatever, in there. It was Alice in Wonderland themed, and they have these mushrooms and whatnot. I'm just gonna show you some of the footage from there. We were there at just a little before 7 o'clock p.m. and it was not dark yet, but the videos that I took were maybe 7:30 or something. So it was already dark outside. And that's, of course, where you see the lighting or the lights and everything best. And wow, it was gorgeous. My daughter, she's 6. If you haven't seen the podcast before, I have a 6-year-old daughter. She was really excited and she was going, "Oh, look at this. Wow, this is great." And the the weather was really good. It wasn't windy, it wasn't too cold, it wasn't raining. It was beautiful. And the river was just so calm. So you could see the reflections of the lights on the water. So it was amazingly beautiful. So we spent quite a while along the river, and then we walked to the center, we had another set of lights in the park where the central church is. And I have some video from there too. And it was just amazing, really. So we thoroughly enjoyed that. And I think I'll save some of it to the last of this video. And then on the last Friday of September, it was, I think, the traditional European Researchers Night. It's been going on for a few years too. And that's when the researchers and different disciplines and different departments at the university showcase, well, whatever you can study or what kind of research you can do at the university. And yeah, there are lectures, but of course they're made for sort of people who aren't at the university, who aren't students. So they're really interesting. And what my daughter wanted to see, because I told her that there'd be at the education department or education's, I think it's department, whatever discipline, they'd have some VR and AR classes, and of course, different programs that you can use or try using the VR or AR classes. And the ones that she tried were VR, I think. So that's virtual reality, and AR is augmented reality, and that's not what she was trying. Yes, VR glasses. Anyway, so I have a video clip of her doing some, it was sort of painting or something, 3D. And she had these sensors or something in her hands that you can see on the video. And on the one hand, she had something where you could choose what kind of paintbrush or something you wanted to use, and then on the right hand you would start painting, and oh wow, that looked really great. And yeah, then she tried another sort of a game on another sort of shrine point or another venue or whatever. So that was great. We've been there before, not yet last year, because last year I was in the US at that weekend. But yeah, I knew from experience that it's a really interesting event. So that's why we went. And then at another building, or in another building, they had these robots, and it was from the ITC people, so that was fun too. Yeah, so it was really it was good fun. And if you're in Europe, the last Friday of September, many European universities have these different events where they showcase this stuff they do, and it's great fun. So like I told you, my kids aren't at home right now. They've gone to the countryside with their dad. They have their fall break. I don't. I'm teaching all week. Um, but they're there, and since I'm only in charge of myself and the dog for the next 3 days, it's different for me. I have planned well, yes, knitting and watching podcasts and TV and all that, but also I'm thinking about going through the walk-in closet, seeing whatever there is in there. I know that we have heaps of winter clothes that don't fit my daughter anymore, because she's a year older than last year and she's taller. and all that. So we'll just have to. I'm pretty sure I will just donate the her old winter clothes. And we have these containers where you could donate to the Finnish Red Cross, for example. So that's something that I've been planning to do this week and tidying up the place. And I'm in my, like I said, I'm in my son's room. I'm not going to show it to you because I haven't dealt with it yet. That's one of my goals for this, for the days or during the days that I am alone with the dog. So, that's gonna be interesting. But of course, it's just so much easier when you're home alone, and the mess that you have is, well, it's not gonna grow any bigger. And if you tidy up one place, then yeah, it'll stay that way unless you yourself do something. And so the mess is yours and not anybody else's. Because our dog really doesn't mess up anything. He's 6, and even though he's very energetic, at times when he's home, he's just sleeping. I don't even know where he is right now, but he's sleeping. Um, so yeah, um, I'm sort of, you know, looking forward to reorganizing stuff and really having the peace and quiet to do that and think about it and move things around. And it'll be so much easier, I hope, afterwards to, get moving and get doing your regular day to day kind of things. So that's what I'm planning to do this week. And one thing that I write down in my cheat sheet is that I want a pattern from, because the one of the socks that or pairs of socks that I showed you last time was from Heidi. And in her Ravelry group, she has these quarterly cows. And I entered my pair for her Q3 third quarter cal, and I want a pattern from her. And I've already chosen the one I wanted, and she has already sent it to me, and I'm really happy to have gotten it. Um, that's actually a pair that I'm pretty sure I'll be keeping myself. It's really nice. I don't know when I'll be knitting them, but we'll see. I'll maybe remember to mention it when I get to it and get knitting it. But now I'm just gonna try and get this video edited now that I'm home alone, and then I'll get it uploaded onto YouTube, and you'll be able to see it before tomorrow. So anyway, I hope you all are great or are feeling well, and I hope you have the rest and relaxation that you need, that we all need at one time, and then of course knitting, crafting, whatever sort of takes your mood. But I'll see you in a few weeks again. I don't know, but until then, have a great time and happy knitting. Bye.